we are going to teach you how to create a acrylic flower. This is a tutorial for anyone who has time. It'll take about a week to a week and a half to complete, but the first steps are kid friendly and I really feel like they will enjoy it. Right here is a variety of old paints that are kind of like almost all the way gone. You could also use good paints, new paints, but these are what we have, and that's what this tutorial is all about. So all you need is paint, one, and then you need some form of like slick surface. I have these plexiglass surfaces. They're decorative, but they're plastic. They're hard plastic. If you don't have anything like that, what we're making is something that looks like this, and it's just on a lid. So any good lid that you're not going to be eating from later on in the future is going to be good for you. A storage lid works perfectly. One of the things that we talked about when we first started this video was utilizing the resources that we have. Instead of throwing away this almost gone tube of paint, I am actually going to utilize the paint that's still inside of it. It's still good, you just can't access it. So what you want to do is grab a X-Acto knife, a box cutter, or even just some scissors. Cut the top of the tube first, because this is going to actually create a small air pocket, making the tube want to open. And then on its side, you always want to cut away from you, because then it's less likely that you're going to injure yourself. Cut it open on that side, cut it open on the following side, and then cut across and open the tube up. And then you'll find the golden treasure of lots of paint that could still be utilized and doesn't have to go to waste. Once the tube of paint is open, in order to get it out, you may want to grab an old card and just a container that can be scooped in, and then just start scooping it into the container. As little as this amount of paint could actually mix well with the glue itself to create what we are calling the pigmented white glue. To create the acrylic pour, you're going to actually need a cup to pour the paint in. I'm using just a regular tube of paint. You could use one of the paint tubes that we just opened if you are trying to recycle and use everything to the last drop. I'm just going to pour just a little bit in there, not too much, something very tiny. Then from there I will pour maybe like 1/3 of the cup full of white glue. I'm going to add silicone oil. I don't know if you can see that. Silicone oil to our mixture in here. This will allow cells to form when we actually do the acrylic pour. You can find this at Michael's or any hobby store and it's around $3 or $4. And then if you want to, you can add water. You don't have to, depending on the humidity in the air and depending on the humidity in the air, you may or may not want to add water. Basically what we're trying to accomplish is a consistency that looks like a very thin pancake batter. I have a metal stirrer. If you can use anything that will accomplish this, and you just need to try to mix this together. The white glue we're using it as a medium, so it doesn't have any color. Although it appears white, it will dry clear, meaning that the pigments in the paint will actually get absorbed and it shouldn't change at all due to the glue not having any pigment. And you can actually thin this it came out pretty well, but if you want to thin it out, it's not going to hurt it at all. So add a little water. You're just going to increase the volume, and that's how you make the colors for the acrylic pour. This is the time we're all been waiting for. It's the actual pouring of the acrylic. This is super fun and it's quite interesting. What I like to do is have all of my colors ready to go. So we're using 4 different colors today: blue, pink, yellow, and black. I like to use my toilet paper rolls that I've been collecting because this is a great way to recycle, and also once you're done with it, you can just toss it out and not feel bad about it. So I'm also using my yogurt cup as one of the cups that I'm pouring out of, and this is a great way of recycling once again. So we're just going to pour a little bit of each color into each toilet paper holder. And what we're trying to accomplish is layering of colors. And as you see, the paint is starting to release itself from the bottom of the toilet paper holder. And this one actually has some nice cells forming. And if it's not doing it by itself, you could just lift it up and then set it right back down. You don't have to lift all your paint at one time. You could spread it out over time. And then just start the color pouring again. Once you have it to this point and you pulled off the toilet paper holders, you could kind of have fun with kind of letting gravity do what it does best and moving things around, and making sure that the entire lid is covered. When you choose a lid, choosing a lid with a little lip on it actually helps this process. And to achieve that almost vinyl-like fabric quality at the very end, once it's dry, you just want to move it around as much as possible to fill as much empty space there is. And then once you get it to a point where you like how aesthetically it looks, stop and let it dry in a safe place like a rack or outside for 7 to 10 days. If it is in direct sunlight, it actually will dry a little faster, and you'll see some results within 2 to 3 days. Once you've allowed your acrylic to sit for about 7 to 10 days, you may notice that it almost looks like a vinyl plastic. This is intentional so that you're able to peel it up pretty easily from the lid itself. So because my lid had a little lip on it, it actually made it a lot easier to come to the edge and start pulling it. If it sticks at any point and it's not easy, that just means that you need to let it sit for a day or two longer. And then once it's ready, it'll just come up pretty easily. You can remove it and you should be left with just almost a piece of fabric or a piece of vinyl. And this is what we're looking for to create the acrylic flower. So here comes the fun part. I made multiple different types of acrylic pours. This is one of them, and what I like about it is that it actually has these like jagged edges, which are very organic when it comes to flower building. What you want to do first is grab one of the smallest pieces and just create something like this, and you're going to start rolling it up kind of like a fruit roll up, honestly. I always have food on the brain. And you want something that looks like that. Then after you create that, you want something that looks like this. You want to cut another portion off and layer it around it so that it looks like the center of a flower. Then you want to continue to build your flower. So we just cut another piece and we wrap this around, and I just kind of like fold and ripple this until it starts to appear to have like flower-like qualities.
Once you get to a point that you feel you really enjoy and that it looks like a flower, you just tie the ends off with a rubber band. Here's my rubber band. It's just a clear, tiny little rubber band used usually in kids' hair. You'll find at the dollar store. And then I'm just tying it off at the very end. This gift could be a great craft present for your father for Father's Day. You can make it into something for his pocket in a suit. You could wrap it around a pen using some super glue and ribbon. You could also just kind of use wire and floral tape to create a faux flower and put it in a vase. I want to thank everybody today that actually participated in this tutorial. This is a great way to have fun with leftover paint, and also I know that acrylic pour are trending on YouTube right now, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of show you a how-to step on how to implement that process as well. Not only can you create an acrylic flower, but you could also create an abstract painting with this technique. For more information on the Mesquite Arts Center, I would suggest following us on all of our social media platforms. We also are implementing Tote and Go programming this summer, so keep your eyes out for that. And I hope you had fun. And that's all I have for today. And I hope you check us out next time as we create concrete planters to plant our acrylic flowers in. See you later.